You know, great nonfiction isn't just a list of facts, right? It's so much more than that. It's about showing a mind at work, seeing a perspective come into focus. It's about craft. So today, we're going to crack open the toolbox of some real masters to see what any student of writing can learn about telling true stories and telling them powerfully.
And Joan Didion, one of the masters we'll look at, just nails it with this quote. I mean, think about it. Stories aren't just some nice-to-have entertainment, they're absolutely essential. When we write nonfiction, we're not just passively reporting on the world, we're actively making sense of it, for ourselves and hopefully for our readers.
All right, so here's the game plan. We're going to open up this writer's toolbox. We'll start with this idea of the craft of truth, then we'll dive into 3 huge lessons. First, finding your voice, then mastering observation, and finally, structuring your thoughts. And then we'll get to the best part, your turn to write, where you get to put all these incredible tools to work.
First up, finding your voice. This is so important. It's the who behind the words. It's the thing that makes your writing sound like you, giving it that conviction, that clarity, and that spark of curiosity that pulls the reader in. Honestly, it's the foundation for everything else.
So to really get a handle on voice, let's check out 3 absolute legends. You've got James Baldwin, and his writing has this incredible moral rhythm, almost like music that builds an argument. Then there's Jamaica Kincaid, whose voice just seethes with this controlled anger. It's sharp, it's direct, it's unforgettable. And then you have Zadie Smith, who has this amazing conversational curiosity that just makes you feel like you're thinking right alongside her. 3 totally different vibes, all working towards that authentic connection.
Wow, you can just feel the rhythm in Baldwin's words, can't you? It's like a sermon. He grew up as a preacher's son, and you can hear that musical control in his writing. See how he takes something so personal, pain, heartbreak, and makes it feel completely universal? His voice becomes this bridge, connecting your private feelings to this huge, shared human experience.
And then, bam, the intensity from Jamaica Kincaid. There's no messing around here. This voice is a direct command. It's insistent. When she repeats phrases like, "the one that you must see," she erases any distance. You're pulled right into her point of view. You have no choice but to see what she sees.
Okay, so how do we actually use this stuff? Let's break down their genius into things you can actually do. From Baldwin, we learn to mix our personal stories with bigger public ideas. From Kincaid, we see how you can use rhythm and repetition to build a rock-solid argument, and how writing directly to your reader creates this incredible intimacy. And from Zadie Smith, we learn that it's okay not to have all the answers, that you can use writing to explore and figure things out. All right, so you're starting to figure out your voice. Awesome. But now what? What do you do with it? Where do you aim that unique perspective? This brings us to the next big piece of the puzzle.
And that brings us right into our next big lesson, mastering observation. This is all about the art of attention. It's about learning how to really see the world, not just glance at it, and then capturing what you find with both incredible precision and a sense of wonder. And for this, we've got 2 masters who could not be more different, which is what makes this so cool. On one hand, you have Joan Didion, the absolute queen of cool, precise restraint. And on the other, you have Annie Dillard, who turns paying attention into this profound, almost spiritual practice.
And this is such a great way to see it side by side. You've got 2 totally different ways of looking at the world. With Didion's coolness, she isn't going to hold your hand and tell you how to feel. She'll just describe an object, a scene, with this chilling precision, and let the emotion build in the empty spaces, in what she doesn't say. But then you have Dillard, who just dives right in. She'll zoom in on some tiny, microscopic detail and then connect it to the entire cosmos. It's just breathtaking.
So what's the big takeaway here? It's that observation is all about making a choice. You can go the Didion route, be precise, let the details do the heavy lifting emotionally, maybe even use fragmented sentences to show how chaotic things feel. Or you can be like Dillard, stop judging and just look with everything you've got and then build sentences that actually feel like the wonder you're describing. Both are incredibly powerful.
Okay, let's recap. You've got a voice, you've got a focus, you know what you want to look at. So how do you actually shape all that material into a story? How do you organize it so it actually moves the reader and makes sense? Which leads us perfectly into our third and final lesson for today, structuring your thoughts. Think of this as the architecture of your writing, the blueprint. It's how you organize everything, not just to be clear, but to actually create meaning and have an emotional impact.
And to help us with this, we're looking at 3 more masters of the craft. First, David Foster Wallace, who is famous for basically putting his entire thought process on the page.
Then Jon Krakauer, who combines deep research with heart-pounding storytelling. And finally, Louis M'Ung, who uses the restrained perspective of a child to bear witness to unimaginable events.
I love this quote because it shows you exactly what Wallace does. His writing literally is his thought process on the page. He's wrestling with this contradiction in real time. You know his famous footnotes and those super long sentences? They're designed to show you the whole messy, complicated, detour-filled process of him trying to figure something out.
Now, Jon Krakauer is a whole different ballgame. He is a master of narrative drive. He'll take a true story and structure it with all the tools of a thriller: suspense, high stakes, dramatic scenes. But here's the key. He always includes himself in the story, his own doubts and uncertainties. By showing you he doesn't have all the answers, he structurally builds this incredible trust with you, the reader.
All right, let's boil this all down. What can we steal from these writers? From Wallace, don't be afraid to show your work. Let your readers see you think. From Krakauer, learn to treat facts like dramatic scenes and use your own uncertainty as a tool to build trust. And from Louis M'Ung, understand the incredible power of a limited point of view and what's called emotional economy. Sometimes saying less is so much more powerful. Structure isn't just a box you put your ideas in, it's a tool for making meaning.
All right, we have loaded up our toolbox with some seriously powerful techniques from some of the best writers out there. So I think you know what's next. It's your turn to write. It's time to put these tools to work.
And this, right here, might be the most important thing to remember from all of this. Voice, observation, and structure, they aren't rigid rules you have to follow. Think of them as tools, flexible, powerful tools in your kit that you get to use to shape how a reader sees the world, to show them something through your unique lens.
At the end of the day, studying these masters shows us that great nonfiction isn't about finding some absolute capital T truth. It's about mastering the art of perception, which leaves us with the real question. It's not just what you're going to write about. It's what truth will you show?